So, it is March 16th. I am in my apartment right now, and it's been Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's been about 6 days since the earthquake that happened. Uh, that was the epicenter was way up north, but it did affect Tokyo. And as far as we know, right now it's 8:55 p.m. on Wednesday, and I'm in between my lessons. So I thought, oh, I'd do a little update. Mostly inspired by my friend Ren, who's living not too far from here. Um, but I look like poo poo. But yeah. Aftershocks have what am I doing? I am nervous. Aftershocks have pretty much stopped. Um, there's not many. Actually, one of my students felt a little aftershock during our lesson, so that was a little scary for them. Um, but yeah, it's like every time there's an aftershock, you freak out because you're like, oh my god, is this like another big one? And you can't help but act like that since Friday. So, and especially when, like, Tinkerbell comes on TV and tells you that there's an earthquake coming, you tend to go, oh shit, and then get somewhere safe as soon as possible. But, still, the nuclear reactor thing is probably the biggest concern now on everyone's minds, but I'm in Tokyo, as most of my friends are too, and I want to tell you there is no nuclear fallout. There is no nuclear meltdown. Radiation levels are not making our hair fall out, although maybe it's giving us a bad hair day. But but yeah, things in Tokyo, people are panicking a little bit, which is expected. When something major happens like this, people tend to freak out, and they're starting to hoard food and hoard gasoline, which I want to say I'm really glad I don't own a car anymore, so I don't have to worry about that. But luckily, I'm also close enough to Tokyo where I don't have to be included in the rolling blackouts. As far as I know, I have not experienced any loss of electricity in my apartment. Although I have been staying at at my boyfriend's house, but he has not lost any electricity. But we are conserving. But yeah, actually, they're talking about water, which is if you go to the store, they are only allowing two 2-liter bottles per person now, which I've seen like mothers go there with their 2 children, and so they're buying like 6 bottles of water, and I'm like, that's not really fair. It's like, it's not per person depending on age. It's like, it should be per group, 2 bottles of water per group per person. So I don't think they should be including their 6-month-old babies in that. That's not. But that's what happens when people panic. They're like, I'll just take my 2 extra children and use them to get more water. No. But I mean, it's like, I have water. I'm not drinking the water. I am taking a shower in the water. Taking a shower using the water. As far as I know, it is not contaminated, but I actually made spaghetti with tea water that I bought. So, which it didn't really change the difference, I think. But actually, I'm going to eat the noodles that are left. But yeah, people are mostly taking the bread stuff, which I don't understand because bread is perishable after maybe a week or so. Depends on when it's made. Yeah, so I can't find pasta noodles. I did find flour, which I bought 2 packs of, so I can make my own bread, and so I can make pancakes too. But people are buying the perishable items, and items that have to go into a refrigerator, which if they're talking about rolling blackouts, you don't want to have anything that needs to go in the refrigerator. And also, during a disaster such as this, even though Tokyo hasn't experienced much of the disaster, not as much, definitely, as the Tohoku region has, but it's like, in a situation like this, you do not buy perishable items. You do not buy bread. You do not buy eggs. Unless you boil them, then they last a little longer than if they were still fresh. I thought there was an earthquake thing, but no. It's like you buy the canned foods. And let me say, there's a hell of a lot of spam. I have to say you right now. Nobody wants to buy that. Which I thought of buying it, but I thought, I've never had it before, and I'm not going to start putting it in my body now. But, I just, there are, like, instant meals. There's, like, rice that's already made and stuff like that. But I bought, cookies. Because, it's a stressful situation. A girl needs her cookies. And, I mean, there's no bottled water, but there is bottled tea. And there is sports drinks still on the shelves. Which, to me, this is still liquid. I'm trying not to make food that involves water. I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. If I do have to, it'll be boiled a lot. Which is just something you should do after a huge earthquake like this. Anything that might damage water lines. But the nuclear thing is, it's not as bad as the foreign media seems to be portraying it. And I'd like everybody to know that. And, it is a scary situation. And when you hear nuclear power plant, something's going wrong over there, it does cause your concern to grow. I won't lie about that. It is scary when, half of them, things are going on, and sometimes, there's smoke coming out. We don't know why. This is happening, but we don't know why. So it's kind of like your concern grows because nobody knows what's going on. And that's when you start wondering, like, oh my God, that's when concern is starting to grow, is because nobody really knows what's going on. And it seems like the experts or controllers or whatever who's doing it can't get close enough to see what's going on or to investigate, because the radiation level around what's happening, like in the vicinity, is too much for any person to go there. It's actually possibly lethal, I said, but that's if, they go and decide to take a steam bath on top of a reactor. But, there's now, like, they just say within the 30-kilometer area is where there needs to be evacuations, and they did that yesterday. So after 6 days, the situation has just gotten slightly worse. But the good news is that Fukushima Dai-ni has been officially cleared as not a threat anymore. So they have officially toned everything down. There's no worry from that one. So now all you have to worry about is Daiichi, which they're showing pictures, which it doesn't look pretty, but shit happens. They're gonna be able to fix that. And it's just, it's one of those things where, it's not being fixed right away, and so now people are like, why can't they fix it now? Why is it not fixed? Why this? Why that? But I think, the things are not going to cool down right away, so it's probably going to take some time before they actually start cooling. But most of my friends and everyone has said, oh, I'm really tired. You have no idea how tiring this is. But, it's pretty much not going to be like Chernobyl whatsoever, because Chernobyl was man-made accident, completely negligent, whatever happened over there. And this here, because of that, everything is a bit more safe. Or, stuff like that. But anyway, I guess I just want to say I'm tired just from the adrenaline pumping, and I don't get very much sleep. And that's about it. But I'm gonna go maybe sew something or clean up my apartment. So, okay, that's it. Bye. Good night.